Dr. Anna Garrett, and I am thrilled to be here today to introduce my newest team member, Deb Gowen. So welcome, Deb, and thank you for being here so that we can get to know a little bit about you, and you and I can talk about how we're going to work together. Just as a quick introduction, Deb is a certified nurse midwife who's worked in women's health for over 4 decades. She holds a master's in nurse midwifery from Columbia University and a BS in nursing from Boston University and a bachelor's in English from the University of Rhode Island. So she is a tried and true Northeast lady. Sparked by her personal experience as a patient and her feminism, Deb provides respectful, safe, equitable care for women, which I think is just such a huge topic these days, but we are not going to take a deep dive into that today. In addition to attending thousands of births, Deb taught the OB-GYN component at the New England School of Acupuncture, has been a guest contributor to several Rodale Press publications, has taught hormone prescribing at the annual American College of Nurse Midwives convention, and also speaks locally in her community, does podcast interviews, and has contributed to online courses in perimenopause and menopause. So that's pretty impressive. Glad to have you here, and I think that your talents are going to be a great marriage for the talents of our 2 pharmacist team members as well. So can you tell our viewers how it is you and I came together? Because it was very accidental. Well, actually, maybe it was a little more intentional than I thought, but at the time I thought, oh, this is like a blessing from heaven. So a little bit more about that.
For both of us, I think it was a blessing. I followed Anna's newsletters and then joined her Facebook group. So I've been following her all along because she's someone who reflects my philosophy when she's speaking, when she's doing her newsletters. And we met because even though I was fangirling her from afar, in one of her groups, she mentioned something to someone about this would be what she would recommend, but she doesn't prescribe. Therefore, the person would have to be tutored about how to bring it up with a provider. And I decided to reach out and just say, but I can prescribe, and I love your approach and want to talk. And here we are today. So it's very exciting.
I know I opened up that email and I was like, woohoo, where's this been for 13 years? But anyway, thrilled to have you with me. Can you talk a little bit about your philosophy as far as hormone therapy goes? Because, for so long, menopause was not even talked about. Estrogen was like verboten and nobody was prescribing it. And now all of a sudden menopause is having its moment. And there are there's really 2 camps. There's the test, don't guess camp. And then there's the, oh, we just treat your symptoms. We don't do any testing. Don't need to know any of that. And so I think you and I very much fall in the test, don't guess camp. But I'd like to hear more about your philosophy when it comes to helping women get what they need in perimenopause and menopause.
So I think there's a ton of information out there right now, and there's brilliant people speaking about it. And some of those people don't test very much. And maybe if it were my sister and she wasn't sleeping and I felt bad for her, I might give her a little progesterone, but mostly I'm a test, don't guess. And I think that my approach is this: we want as much data as we can get. Anna and I spoke briefly about this earlier, which is women really love seeing their improvement, and we can't show them their bigger improvement without some testing to show the improvement. if we're just treating symptoms and those symptoms go away, we haven't really looked at what might have caused those symptoms to begin with. We're presuming it's just a hormonal imbalance, but hormones are part of, you have a triangle here, neuroendoimmune system triangle. Somebody could go through a real illness and then now her hormones are off, or get very depressed from grief. The hormones are off, but it's part of a big complex. So if we just treat the symptoms she presents with, we are missing a beat on all the rest of her and not doing a service. So I really want to start from the whole person and stay with the whole person from beginning to end, and do all that encompasses, even if it feels like a nuisance sometimes to people who want to just get treated real quickly and start. It's not a service in the long run. I do treat the whole person, similarly to Anna, but I also ask where they start from. So my philosophy, having been a nurse midwife for a long time, attending women in labors and for prenatal care, is to really find out where they are, who they are, and where they start from. Do they shop at Whole Foods? Do they shop at Walgreens or whatever your local pharmacy is? Fast food versus macrobiotic or AIP food, and go from there and work within the system that the woman arrives in. Sometimes we branch out later. It's such a surprise, but we start within whatever system. And frankly, by the time many women see me, they're so depleted, they can't take on even their lifestyle changes yet. We have to support them, and then they can take on lifestyle changes, and then the whole world opens up.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point about not being able to take on, because lifestyle change is hard. I mean, it's really hard. And if you're not feeling like you can get out of bed in the morning, the last thing you want to do is start changing everything around.
You have not, and they come in feeling like they're not coping well. They have shame, they have blame from not coping. But it's not that at all. There's no shame and blame here. This is like physiology, body stuff.
Exactly. In my functional medicine certification program, what we're taught, the first question you ask is who is this person in front of me? Because if you don't ask that question, then you could go down some rabbit hole that person has no interest in going down with you. So
right, that's right.
And then everybody's time gets wasted. So how would you say, I know what I would say, and I will say it. How would you say that we're different than, say, one of the online services that have popped up in the last, I don't know, couple of 2 years? What I would say about that is that the way we work is we have a longitudinal program. You can't just come for one visit and get a prescription for something and go away and never to be seen again. That's not how I work. So you either work with us for 3 months or 6 months, and then you can continue to work with us beyond that. But that's sort of the minimum, viable opportunity that we have. What would you say from what you know about the online services? How are we different and or better?
Everything you just said. I will do a nod to the online services for all of the women who don't have access to finding us, or who are just desperate for care and need something. This is filling a need in a hole. It doesn't always work. Women will get, and the people who are employed by these organizations have templates that they use that they adhere to pretty much. So if you're not someone for whom 100 milligrams or 200 milligrams of prometrium works, if it's too much for you, they're not going to help you. They don't have that capacity most of the time to change. We're going to tailor it to what you could use. And hopefully you won't do what a lot of people are doing, is get their prescription and then find you have spotting that's bewildering to you, or excessive bleeding, or sore breast, or diarrhea, or weepiness. There's a lot of things that happen when hormones aren't balanced, when they're not working together. And while you might experience that with us, because It's a balancing game. You're less likely to experiencing that with us, and we're available when you do.
Well,
We're easy.
exactly.
We are easy to find. You're going to talk to someone, Anna or myself, and you're going to figure it out, and we're going to reboot and get you feeling better. And we're in it with you all the way. And I'm not saying the docs for some of these online health aren't in it, but they don't have the same investment that we do.
And they're harder to access from what I understand. So if you have a problem post-appointment, so what you get in those services is a 30-minute appointment. It's $250, I think. And then they do take some insurance, whereas, you know, we don't take any insurance. We'll give you a super bill to submit to your insurance, but you know, we don't deal with any of that. So because that just stresses me out.
You remember when pellets became really popular?
God, please.
So the online world right now feels a little like the pellet world. There was a time when hormones were pellet, pellet, pellet. So the woman would get this pellet and then she'd have all these symptoms, but nobody wanted to remove the pellet. And even if they did remove the pellet, it was uncomfortable and costly. And that's how I feel we're in that pellet world right now a little bit.
Yeah, because it's a surgical incision in your butt. So, you know, not everybody, you know, well, it's not a very elegant description, but it's the truth.
But I saw a lot of post-pellet people in those days.
Yeah. Well, let me describe a little bit about how we'll be working together, just so that people understand. So I will still be doing the Let's Talk calls, which is the initial consultation. And then my partner, Deanne Velez, will begin doing those as well. So that is not free, but it's 45 minutes where you and I talk through your situation and what's going on. And then we map out a strategy for how you want to move forward. If that is the only call that you want, that's fine, because you're going to get some good advice. You won't get prescriptions, but you will get a direction to go in to if you want to try more of a do-it-yourself approach. And as I mentioned, I have 3 and 6 month packages of working with us. So if we do your testing, which is included in all of the packages, and we find that you need hormones prescribed, then you will be referred to have a conversation with Deb at no extra charge. And she will get you all set up with hormones. We've got a compounding pharmacy that is in the United States that will work with us in all but 10 states. And if you are in one of those 10 states, we'll help you find somebody that is close to you. So we have at our disposal oral progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, low dose naltrexone, which is helpful in many autoimmune diseases. If you need a refill on something like a thyroid medication, that's doable as well, although we will not be doing the full thyroid evaluation. Now, having said that, if your doctor is refusing to do a full thyroid panel for you, yes, I can help you with that. With, you know, I'll give you the results. You can take it back to your physician, and happy to make recommendations there, but that is not a service that we will be providing currently. So that's how we work together. And what else? Anything else you want to add, Deb?
No, I think that says it all, really.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining me today. I'm so delighted to have you here, and look for Deb in the free Facebook group, Hormone Harmony Club. And hopefully we'll be able to have her as a guest lecturer on some special topic in the paid membership group, which is Hormone Harmony with Dr. Anna Garrett. They're very similar names, but one is paid and one is free. So we have lots of extra perks in the membership. Guest lecture.
What are those perks?
Huh?
What are those perks in the paid membership?
They are monthly Q&A calls with me. So I'll spend a little bit of time teaching on a topic. What did I talk about last time? The book Good Energy. It's about how to fuel your mitochondria so that you have great energy. And one of my members actually asked for somebody to come on and talk about the mindset of retirement. So I have found somebody to speak on that, and I think we'll do that in October. And then we can do Q&A on your specific questions about your specific situation. You have access to my Hormone Harmony course. We do expert topic calls. We have a whole library of those that are recorded, and you have access to all of them going back 3 years. So that if there's a topic you're interested in, there's a good chance that we have a call on it. So yeah, it's $57 a month, and love to have you join us. And I'll put the link in the Facebook group when we post this video, which will also be on YouTube. So I think that's it for today. Deb, thank you so much.
Bye.
Looking forward to it, and thank you all for taking the time to listen.
Thank you.